Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. Today is Monday, TGIM, 22nd of March. Geez, almost heading into quarter end. And of course, this was our 1 year anniversary window of last year's meltdown in the market. How much the world has changed over the past year, political leadership. Unfortunately, are we beyond this COVID? I don't think so. Unfortunately, I'm hearing Europe is right in the middle of it. Cases here locally are ramping up. We had reports from site members from South America that things are pretty nasty down there. So, put it all together, I got a funny feeling the rest of this year is just going to be sort of mired in COVID crazy. That should theoretically, it should bring out more Fed burr, which should keep the higher asset price Fakezi going. But interestingly, if we just don't have any more burr, we could see asset prices melt back down here, especially if we go into another one of these big lockdowns. So be forewarned, things are awfully risky, and we won't really know there's a serious bottom in prices here unless we actually see government quasi bodies, Feds, Bank of Canada's, whatever's, come out and officially put a bottom in the market. Speculative assets looking a little bit dangerous here, so just be aware of that. And I think you all know that. Looking at our data, we're probably going to see more sort of breadth indicators at the top end of the range than the bottom end of the range. Interesting, actually, we're starting to get a little bit of fast sell signals there on crypto. It'd be interesting to see what our bullish percentage looks like over there on crypto. Where is the cryptoverse? And actually what I'd like to do is set up like a bunch of pages with all these sort of on here at once so we can quickly peruse them. But we do follow things like Kraken and Binance. Somebody asked if we followed KuCoin. We don't yet, but Stewart said there's no reason why we couldn't if there was enough demand. Here's sort of our crypto universe, the whole image. Yeah, so you can see bullish percentage kind of started waning and breaking down there a few days ago. So things looking a little bit heavy here, folks. The image is changing here a bit. Be forewarned. And I actually was putting out tweets to the effect this today, sort of, if we look at from a higher time frame perspective, things are looking a little bit nosebleedy. So just be forewarned. I keep saying this, be forewarned. If anything, it's probably good. I always am sort of the voice of reason, I hope. At any given point in time, you should see 38.2 retracement. So kind of like when we got this flash dump there a month or so ago. Don't be surprised if we get some sort of, quick, sharp pullback into support here, especially with the fact that price momentum indicators are actually looking really heavy. But, this is, if anything, a fantastic analogy that, this market is making higher highs and higher lows. So it's not a bear now. And if you are long, half of your job is just to tune guys like me out and just keep with your plan. And as I've sort of said here, I hope to God, 20x in a year, is that really normal? I hope to God you are paying yourself at least a little bit along the way. And if you are making killer dough in crypto, and man, there's been just some insane wins here recently. For God's sakes, I sure hope you're keeping a little bit, at least in some sort of cash proxy, so that you can pay the taxman, because the taxman's going to want his chunk. But at the same time, too, we're very risky and new money coming in. No. But, traders got to trade, just doing their trading setups. And, we've had actually a couple of setups that are just sort of working away, doing their thing. And half of the trader's job is just you get paid to sit there and worry. You have to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. If you can't do that, then you got no business thinking you're yourself as a quote unquote trader. Often, usually, the best trades are the most uncomfortable. Coming in and buying against the bottom end of the range, shorting against the top end of the range. I mean, that's real anxiety central. So, anyway, point here is these botters that are looking for trend continuation, they're still just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. And interesting how the market is just kind of just oscillating around that level. Just sort of, it's almost like the market's waiting for somebody to say, all right, you go up or you go down. And actually, we did like a triangle analysis. Usually these triangles resolve about 2/3 the apex, which puts us sometime about, ironically enough, about this time tomorrow for that resolution. So I still think this continues on for another day or so. And then we should probably see some sort of break. And frankly speaking, who knows which way the hell this damn thing's going to go. I would say that this market isn't cheap anymore, right? Like there's the crypto itself got right up top there. And even stock markets. Look at European stocks actually flashing little quick sell signals here. So if we did see a pullback here, I wouldn't be shocked. As for your screen, what I see of late, US dollars kind of just going sideways. I was really fearful that, with legislation passed, we were going to get just an absolute face rip lower here, but we've kind of just gone sideways. This might turn into some sort of nasty M, and this has to continue down here. I don't know. I am long the calls, January 2022 calls, so I am still looking for much, much higher down the road. But we did leave like gaps on the lower time frame charts, so that makes me think that there's probably some sort of pullback, especially if US goes into lockdown and stuff. The economy just has to grind to a halt. I could see us coming down into that area. Stocks, really, crude oil was the one that caught my attention last week, breaking, and on a counter trend rally up into this reload zone. I'm going to be seriously thinking about puts, especially on the Canadian dollar. Stocks themselves, remember we had that 4,000 strike, never was exercised, which means, interestingly enough, Wall Street did get long a lot of VIX last week, but they weren't able to sell their stock up top. So the VIX itself, I think we figured their average cost is around $20 or so. So sitting at 19 and change right now. Be really interesting to see if this VIX goes and W's out. If it does, then oh boy, all hell's about to break loose in the stock market. So keep your eyes peeled there. That actually should be interesting. And I remember one of our site OGs last TRI SOF meeting said he was hunting in this sort of VIX ETF proxy space for ideas. And now I got to say I'm starting to get more and more interested too. And also too, on the heels of knowing that Wall Street is long a ton of this and would like to see this higher to line their pocketbooks. I like joining that trade too. Bonds look like trying to carve out a little bit of an inside bar, so actually maybe they didn't need the Fed bazooka. I don't know. Tough to say. Looks like the selling is abated, and we noticed that a little bit on some of the Canadian bond proxies I'm following. They look like they're trying to carve out some sort of short-term bottom. The gold has actually done okay here. A V bottom, but just sort of straight off the lows and just sort of yawning. Maybe we get one more dump lower here, get that oil back up top, get those stocks up top, maybe a nice A, B, C, D on the stocks up into that 4,000 area where I think Wall Street would like to be a seller. I don't know, tough to say. I will say, through the daily brief today, I went through a bunch of my little VCIM junior gold stocks, and they look really buyable, and I have been buying a bunch of them. So fascinating, I'm actually getting more bullish of gold these days. Crazy, imagine that. Brian. Now he's going to be a gold bug, now that Peter Schiff is officially given up. Now Brian will turn bullish of gold. Junior stock market didn't see any sort of banging out doubles today or anything. Things are pretty quiet, and the crypto stocks look really dangerous here. So I can understand most people in the stock market are just sort of like, cool your jets kind of mode. And actually interesting, I would even say that the stock market, junior stocks, in a weird sort of way, the altcoins, the poop coins, they seem to be moving very similarly here. So if we do see the junior stock market start to really outperform again, at my hunch is you're going to see these altcoins all go crazy. And as I was sort of saying there earlier, talking about those tweets, I don't really think that anything's actually going on here with the corn right now. It's just a big hurry up and do nothing. And about a week or so ago, I put this funny story out. This is the Germans up top here. Here's the French down here. And this is the trenches of World War I. And here's Brian right in the middle of the fucking trench. And they're just going back and forth, back and forth. And if you're a professional trader and the bot is your trade setup and you're in this, there's nothing to do. You just sit there being uncomfortable. Woo, there goes a missile. Woo, there goes another missile. Woo, there goes another one. But you just got to sit there and do nothing. And as you can see, there's that 2/3 of the apex of the triangle. So I think that this goes on for another day or two. So anyway, there's your market summary. Sure hope you got some value out of that. Like individual. I don't know whether I even talked individual names with the site members today. I love my little Geo. I swear, this thing, one of these days, this Geo coin is just going to hit the world by storm. So you can see, here comes more W's trying to form here, W's within W's. And look at this thing. Has it got any room to move up here at all? I mean, look at that. So if there's anything I was going to go buy in the marketplace, I'd probably go pick up a little more of this. And oh, by the way, I have bids working. I think I got 65 Geos at my level. It's almost impossible buying this thing at a good price. You can see I've had this bid working down here, and these guys have just been like, fuck you, we're not selling you out. You want to buy this, you have to pay the offer. I mean, these guys are bastards. But, what the hell? Capitalism is capitalism. So if I have the tenacity just to sit and accumulate, at some point I'm going to get paid big time down the road. So that's the kind of name that, and it's typical Brian, right? I'm not chasing the high flyers. I'm buying the garbage that's at the bottom end of the range. But that's just the way Brian does his thing. And really, there's a lot of names across the board that look like that. Don't chase. I mean, I've talked to you guys at length about things like CIS, but you can't be a buyer of CIS here. All right? You got to be a buyer of CIS down here. Well, that's what that Geo's doing right now. But can't touch him now. He's gone. Hey, good old Romano. I wonder if Romano's still eating ass. But Romano, interesting. Look how bottom end of the range. Bottom end of the range. Just not doing anything one of these days. And whether he's gotten over the gonorrhea or syphilis that he picked up eating people's fecal excrements, well, that's his choice. But maybe he's gotten over, and got a couple shots from the doctor, and he's ready to go again. But you can see this thing; it's just sitting there. And we actually have an old expression on the site: the longer the something, the bigger the something. So I'll leave that to your imagination. But if anything, the tweets I've been putting out lately are, the days of the shittening are upon us, because it sure feels like the shit coins are coming back, baby. All right, everybody, there's a whole bunch of swears and stuff that the good people at Tide Laundry Detergent would never endorse you hearing. But what the hell? Let's have some fun. I mean, here's another one that I just love. Look at this. I mean, beautiful. W's within W's within W's. You tell me, is there any money to be made here? Yeah. There's so much money. It's ridiculous. So get out there and have some fun. As I said, and it's probably like the months of the shitting are upon us. All right, everybody. I better shut up now before I get myself into any more trouble. All the best, and bye for now.